Do you have the will to build your spiritual power? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is on the wings of your mind. So the question of the day is, do you have the will to build your spiritual power? Now, I ask that because in today's secular society, being spiritual can make you an outcast. We live in a society where it is now seems to be fashionable to belittle other people if their behavior or their ideas or their race or their sex doesn't fit in with what the dominant tribe dictates that it should be. People are being ridiculed for daring to wear a mask to avoid being infected by the COVID-19 virus. People are being shamed because they happen to be born with white skin. On the other side of the coin, I can remember being followed by security when I entered an upscale retail store because I'm black. And historically, people are often disrespected because their ideas are different from everybody else's. Yet it is those people who bring dramatic changes that take our world forward. Ridiculed or not, they're very important to us. I've seen women have to be even more by the book than the men around them and the men that they supervise because they're women. I can remember being called a wimp because I wouldn't agree to committing an act that I knew that I would deeply regret later on because it crossed the line. I remember. So, do you have the will to be spiritual, to be an outcast? Do you? Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. I would love also to hear from you. You can use the chat box on the right side of the screen or the comment section below. To subscribe, of course, you can use the logo in the lower right-hand corner. So, do you have the will? You know, people with a religious orientation are often avoided or ridiculed because they are moved to share their beliefs with others in the hope of awakening the spiritual fire in those that they're talking to. Often, though, it's not voluntary. Often, they're charged with that responsibility as part of their spiritual practice, and they face resistance because of that. I mean, how many of us have heard jokes about Jehovah's Witness missionaries knocking at doors, or Mormon missionaries traveling across the country, even around the world? I find it interesting that those who actually perform those duties of being missionaries are forced to build a certain level of fortitude because they're being laughed at, because they're being made fun of, because they're being teased, because they're being ridiculed. They have built up a certain level of fortitude to overcome that, to break through and pass through that kind of treatment. So they end up being some of the most courageous, goal-oriented, and successful people I've ever encountered. So make fun of, if you will, what you're doing is you're building their will. You're building their strength. But today I'm not focused on those charged by their religion to spread the word. I'm focused on the ones who have the will and have the discipline to take their spiritual power to a higher level. I'm focused on the many who quietly execute their spiritual practices without oversight, without authority, and without protection of a strong, organized, missionary-based religion. I'm talking to you who do it on your own. I'm talking to you who may not know it, but you are part of a strong tribe, and it has more members than you realize, who independently follow their own spiritual path. And as you pursue that path, know that you are protected and shielded by spirit. You are not alone. A tribe that has many members, yet they are seldom seen. I'm talking to those of you who hold the spiritual practice in your hearts, who express your spiritual practice through your daily lives. I'm talking to those of you who quietly pray in secret because you know the truth. You know the truth of the words that Jesus spoke in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6. And he said, "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut the door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." The Father who seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. I'm talking to you who quietly read uplifting spiritual books, or who choose to listen to spiritually oriented talks online, or who quietly believe that God or infinite intelligence is in us all. But don't try to make waves. You don't try to make waves trying to convert other people to your way of belief. It's you I want to address. You, the quietly spiritual. You who often practice your spirituality alone or in very small groups. You who are not interested in convincing others of the error of their ways. I want to address you because it is you who represent our greatest hope to help change this world. It is you who represent our hope for this world. If you have the will and the strength to do what you're doing, and you have the will and the strength to take yourself to a higher level of consciousness, then we need you. Our world needs you. You have the opportunity to become a light unto the world. Not by going out into the world to change others, but by bringing change to yourself, by being the change we need. By committing to a spiritual practice and a spiritual path that empowers you and magnetizes you. Yes, I use the word magnetize because as you quietly go through the work of becoming in alignment with infinite intelligence, you become like a magnet. Law of attraction. You become like a magnet who will draw other people of a like mind to you. Others will seek to join you. So the path you're taking right now appears to be a solitary path, but you will not be alone. You will be surrounded by others of a like mind. And even though you can't see it now, you are right now in this very moment being surrounded by beings who are there to guide you and protect it. You are being surrounded and moved by forces that are dedicated to helping you guide your way through life, through your life, in some ways that some might say are lucky or filled with coincidences. But you know there is no coincidence. You know that. You know it is the forces of infinite intelligence working to help you and those who travel with you to make things happen. I'm not talking about big, spectacular happenings that people call miracles, if you will. I'm talking about little fortunate circumstances that come at the right place at the right time and open doors for you where others might find the doors closed, might find themselves delayed or blocked. So to you, quiet ones, to you, I am sending encouragement. I'm encouraging you to continue the work. I'm encouraging you to continue to work to adjust your life and your vibration so that you are in alignment with infinite intelligence, so that you are attuned to infinite intelligence and it is attuned to you. I'm encouraging you to do the work of becoming a spiritual warrior by adapting to the practice of discipline to elevate your consciousness. Remember, the definition of a spiritual warrior is one who combats the universal enemy, self-ignorance, the ultimate source of suffering, at least according to Buddhist philosophy. philosophy. And I tend to agree. Self-ignorance. Self-ignorance means you don't know who you really are. That's what self-ignorance is. Seek to find out who you are. Go within and find out who you really are. Who are you? You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are divine. You are divine. You are divine. A songwriter by the name of Joni Mitchell back in 1969 wrote a song dedicated to the music festival at Woodstock. And there's a lyric in that song that applies to you and to me and to all spiritual warriors. That lyric goes, "We are stardust. We are golden. And we've got to get ourselves back to the garden." We've got to get ourselves back to the garden. What is that? We've got to get ourselves to a state of consciousness, to a level of consciousness where we are in the garden, where we are experiencing heaven on earth, where we are in tune with infinite intelligence, and those around us feel that influence coming through us, that power coming through us. We are divine. We are stardust. We are golden. So how? How do you do that? How do you align yourself with infinite intelligence so that you can be a more peaceful and powerful being here on earth? Well, first of all, you need to maintain your health. I mean, if you're not healthy, get healthy. Because if you are sick, you cannot fully access your power. So get healthy, at least as healthy as you can. I mean, yes, we all have ailments. You know, I'm diabetic. But we can do things to make our body as healthy as possible so that it is working properly. I mean, even if it's only taking 20 or 30-minute walks every day, do it every day and give your body a chance to work. Your body is built to move. Sitting still all day causes your body to start dying. So your body needs to move. So get up and move for like 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself because I have been naughty. I've been sitting at my computer for days. So let us all get up and move. Get up and move. Because if we give our bodies some kind of exercise, then our bodies will cure themselves. Your body's amazing repair system will bring it back into functionality, to a higher level of functionality. Next, bring yourself to a state of peace. State of peace. You can do that by putting yourself into a meditative state or prayer practice at least once every day. I mean, even if you only have 5 minutes when you get up in the morning, then dedicate that 5 minutes to infinite intelligence. Sit quietly and listen, or pray and then listen. Don't listen to the chattering mind that is always frightened, that is always worried, that is always in trouble. Listen to that quiet voice that actually knows the answers. And you can do that. It could be as simple as picking out a spot on the wall and just staring at it for 5 minutes and allowing yourself to get calm, to get quiet, to get into peace. Infinite intelligence will take care of it from there. Next, follow one of those powerful 4 agreements from the book by Don Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. And the one I'm talking about is the agreement that says, don't take anything personally. Now, I admit that's very hard to do because basically we take everything personally. But let's turn in the other direction because most of the time it's not about you. Someone may be shouting at you, but it's usually their problem. Their problem that they're shouting at, not you. You just happen to be standing in the line of fire. So don't get upset about somebody else's problem. Don't get upset about somebody shouting at you or blaming you for something. It's their problem, not yours. Don't waste your energy getting all emotional about something that is not your business. Remember, we're working to get into a place of peace, and peace gives you power. Peace gives you power. Next, adopt another one of those 4 agreements that I really like. Be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. Basically, do what you say you're going to do. Again, that is a very difficult thing to do, especially with all the different forces that are acting upon us. Doing what you say you're going to do is tough. There are circumstances where we just say something. We just say we're going to do something to get people off our backs, but we don't really intend to do it. Forget that. Don't do it anymore. The trouble with that is it weakens the power of your word. In order to command the universe, you need for your subconscious to believe you so that it can send out clear messages to the universe. Because the universe doesn't listen to our words so much as it listens to us, what's going on inside of us, what we're sending out from deep inside. Our subconscious is our direct connection to the universe. And so we must connect to the subconscious. We must get the subconscious to believe what we say. We need for the subconscious to be in sync with us so that when we go out into the universe, we are powerful. We are clear. Yes. Otherwise, if we don't do that, your subconscious is compromised and the commands you send out to the universe are weak and ineffective. So as difficult as it may be, begin to concentrate on getting impeccable with your word. Do what you say you're going to do. All right? So get healthy, get quiet, do meditation, get healthy, do exercise, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Those are going to get you to a higher level of consciousness. Those are going to get you to a place of peace and power. And then you can stand up and defend others who are being mistreated because it's the right thing to do. Even if it makes you unpopular, you know that you are right and you can defend others who are being persecuted, who are being picked upon, who are being misjudged. Refuse to allow yourself to be involved in gossip and the disparagement of others. Why? Because it diminishes you. To say bad things about other people diminishes you. Remember, what goes out comes back. What goes around comes around. Refrain from judging others. Refrain from holding grudges. Refrain from seeking revenge. Learn to forgive. Learn to forgive yourself as well as forgiving others. Okay, so that's how you become a spiritual warrior. Hi, Kitty. That's how you accomplish a level of higher consciousness. And you know what? That's really hard to do. That's why I asked right up front, do you have the will to build spiritual power? Do you have the will to build spiritual power? Because it's impossible to do by yourself. You can't do it on your own. In order to accomplish all that, you must surrender to infinite intelligence. You must be in partnership with infinite intelligence, because only by surrendering to infinite intelligence can you be given the strength, the energy, the focus, and the courage to do all that. That's what infinite intelligence is there for. It's waiting for you to surrender. And by accepting that infinite intelligence is all there is and that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence, it can all come together for you. Because then you are tapping into an inexhaustible source of energy and knowledge. An inexhaustible source called infinite intelligence. And when you surrender to that inexhaustible source, you will be uplifted and energized. By tapping into that infinite, inexhaustible source, You will be guided and assisted by tapping into that inexhaustible, infinite intelligence. You will be able to rise above the rejection of those who choose to turn their backs on you because they don't approve of what you're doing. Let them go, because you are becoming magnetized, and you will attract to those who are seeking the glow of your light and who will appreciate you for who you are and what you are. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are infinite intelligence expressed as you. So taking the road of the spiritual warrior may lose you some friends, but hey, you got some better ones coming. You got some better ones coming. And once those who claim to be your friends but want to hold you back leave your presence, you got space cleared for something much better, because infinite intelligence will begin to populate your world with a much more joyous and pool of associates, a much more joyous experience. The rewards are worth the sacrifices. But the ordeal of change calls for determination, willpower, courage, because there's going to be some turmoil while you're making the change. But after the change has been made, it is worth it. So isn't it time to answer that question? Do you have the will to build your spiritual power? Do you have the will? Hopefully you can say yes. Yes. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise, because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. So, please, click on the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. I would really love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions. So please use the comment section below the video. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. In the meantime, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.